Hey friends, happy solstice. So what I'm going to do today is a collective pool for the summer solstice. I pulled cards yesterday for the collective for the summer season. So I have another website and project called Seasons and Ritual. And the idea behind it is to help people get more in touch with the seasons. And so what I was doing was putting out a calendar for each season. And so while we're still going to do that, um, I'm changing the format a little bit. So I wanted to go ahead and put out the Tarotscope that I would do. Also, I'm hoping this will get it to a wider audience to kind of get you guys to kind of understand what we're doing with Seasons and Ritual. And so what I do is I pull a collective. I pull cards for the collective for the summer, and then I will go and pull cards for each sign for the summer. And so it is sort of a theme to work on throughout that season instead of pulling cards every day, which I do personally. But the idea is to kind of slow things down and to get really present with each season. And so while you pull your cards every day, the idea is though that this is an overarching theme for you to work with and to move through for the summer. So I wrote it down. It's off camera on my phone over here. So if you keep seeing me look off to the side, that's what it is. It's an iPhone 7, so don't get jealous. So for the collective pool for the summer, I wrote the question was for the spirit, what does the collective need to think about and move towards this summer? And what I pulled was, oh shit, backgrounds. Okay, what I pulled, can you see this, was the King of Cups, the Two of Cups, Ten of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. And what's interesting with the zodiac signs, when I was pulling for them, the Wheel of Fortune came up a lot. So there's going to be a lot of movement this summer, despite the fact that despite the fact that Saturn's retrograde, Venus is going to go retrograde. It's important that we see these retrograde periods still as movement. Coming up, the signs, the North Node, South Node will be moving signs. So there is going to be a lot of movement this summer. What's most interesting to me is that the Two of Cups keeps coming up too, about this notion about true love, right? And loving oneself and showing up authentically. So let's get into the pool for the collective. And I'm just going to read what I wrote and then expound if I need to. It says, for the collective, we have the King of Cups, who is movement, who is consideration, who is feelings, who is boundaries, who is kind, who is empathetic, but most importantly, who is mature and wise. He comes in with the Two of Cups, which is the true love card. The masculine on this card is reaching out to the feminine. If you guys have been following me, which is true, if you guys have been following me, you will know I always speak of the self first before going into the other. So our divine masculine sides are showing up for us because our divine feminine sides are starting to see how we need to show up as one. The more spiritually aware you become, you start to see through the lies of separation and the lies of what love should look like. Love is sacred, love is shared, love is strong, and it shows up just as love. Love I'm repeating myself. Love shows up as love, as the masculine and love shows up as love as the masculine and the feminine together. What is interesting is that because this is the Two of Cups and not the Lovers, I do read this more as true love coming into and onto the planet, between people as well as the self. This is the time when we realize the strength it takes to weep for all the world's sorrows is the exact amount of strength it takes to lift a heavy weight. It is the same amount of energy. It is the same amount of energy. While the patriarchy would have you believe crying tears is a weak lady trait, while a man moving a boulder is a sign and show of strength, the reality of it, it's both strength. The energy is the same. One looks like water, one looks like flesh. Both come from the same source. And I'm just going to expand on that a little bit. So the idea that I'm talking about is the masculine and feminine inside of us realize the strength each other one holds. The idea that, people weep when it comes to grieving, and moving that kind of stuff through is the same amount of energy energetically it takes to lift something very heavy. It just shows itself in different ways. And the more that we start to wake up to this realization about how the energy is energy, and how the patriarchy may, put these stories on it, or whoever put these stories on it, the more we start to be in awe of ourselves, the more we start to realize how we can be more balanced with our masculine and feminine, and the more that we see these strengths in other people. So I really do. That's been coming in really strong for the past couple days. Okay. The King of Cups, who is empathetic and rules his kingdom with his feelings, looks at the true love card. So when I had it in front of me, he was looking at the true love card. The King of Cups keeps his kingdom moving forward. He is the balance of masculine and feminine, as we all are. He shows up here as movement to keep moving forward. We are in summer. Summer begins with Cancer, a water sign, a cardinal sign of movement. This movement of true love, it is a movement of true love. Ask for true love to come in. Ask it to show itself to you. Ask for it to give you new ways to talk to yourself, to see the world, to see our world, to see others with true love and compassion. This will allow us to lay our burdens down, which is that 10 of Wands. This will show us what true love really is and what it means to you. It isn't loving to keep carrying around all the old stories and all the old outdated ways of being. The Wheel of Fortune came out and showed itself. So what had happened is I had pulled all the cards, and then as I was putting it down, whoop, the Wheel of Fortune fell out. So the Wheel of Fortune came out and showed itself, letting us know two things. Fortune is changing no matter what. And the quicker we get used to the idea of true love, which is true, true love, and coming in with this idea of true, the easier it's going to be for us to live the lives we so desire. At the same time, the more we move with the energy of true love, the quicker our fortunes will change. And so it is important for us to start seeing for the summer what it is that we see as love, what we see that registers as love. True love is nurturing. And I can't tell you how surprised I am that this came out for the collective reading, especially with all the caca going on in the world, correct? So this is really a good time for summer, when things are realized, when things are blooming, to start seeing how you're blooming in unexpected ways. Like that card was so expected. When I walked out this morning on the solstice, my ginger root had bloomed. It was beautiful. I'll post a photo. I put a photo on my Instagram. I didn't even know that thing bloomed. Okay. I mean, when I walked outside, I went, so use this energy of throughout this summer, use this energy to see yourself blooming in unexpected ways. See yourself as being a receptacle of love. See yourself as really putting down these burdens that aren't yours. See yourself as the King of Cups who moves his kingdom forward, with empathy, with compassion, but he keeps things moving. He keeps things flowing. If you're not in the flow, let it go. And then, we have, I don't know if I can put these up for them to be in front of my face so they go. That Wheel of Fortune is here. When that Wheel of Fortune shows itself, things are turning no matter what. And so it is asking you to look around in your own environment and see where this love vibrates and see where you can sit with this love. There was another little point I was going to make about the solstice. So it's also important. This was coming into when we are at these like the longest day of the year and the shortest day of the year. This is really a time of endurance. So it's important to see what your pace is, right? It's important to see that things are turning. So where things seem extreme, no, it's at that tipping point, right? We're at the solstice. It's the longest day of the year. It can't get any longer. So it's the tipping point. Things turn. And to allow them to turn, summer's only here for so many weeks and then we move into fall. I'm going to put journaling prompts on my websites. So Seasons and Ritual and IndependenceStNola. So if you guys go to the blog, you'll see the journaling prompts. I am going to post the rest of the other 12 signs for their tarotscopes for the summer. And then again, I'll put the journaling prompts on the blog. And I'm going to do that throughout the day and tomorrow because I am busy. And also I just, need to take time to sit with the solstice energy as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is going to be a big summer of release, laying down these burdens, moving into our strength, seeing that strength and feelings. It does to me go back to this whole movement of Mars, becoming that divine masculine and realizing the strength in that. In realizing the strength and the feminine and the masculine are exactly the same. There's really no difference when you get to that energy. Okay, friends, if you have any questions, please reach out. Helen and I will be coming to you again for our weekly update, and I will be posting the rest of these tarotscopes for the summer throughout the next couple days.